Hey hens! How we all diddly doing? How's everybody holding up? I am back with another speed build. It is not like me, but you know what? I'm enjoying the process. I really missed just building and like watching something in the background. What I watched in the background of this was Gavin and Stacey. So the drama, Mick, I just love it. So if I have an excessive amount of Gavin and Stacey quotes over the next couple of videos, which I know I do because I've already recorded them, that's why. It's because I was watching Gavin and Stacey while building this. And you know what? I'd do it again, bitch. I'd do it again. But hello, how are we? I asked on YouTube what kind of videos that you wanted to see with the new pack, because I didn't really know what I wanted to do, because I'd already done my should you buy it, and I've ended up getting loads of lovely ideas from you. And one of the comments was build a cinema with a new platform tool, which I call them pitches, by the way. Like I would say I'm going to the pitches, but I never considered doing that with a platform tool. But I'm not that much of a creative builder. I'm more of like a very realistic to the point builder, if I've got any way of saying it. Like you've seen my build challenges, I'm very to the point with them. Like, so I'm not that creative, and I never even thought about doing pitches with the new platform tools, but they actually work really well. And also it doesn't just extend to just it being a pitches. You could also do it as a lounge. Like this could be a really cool thing as a lounge, or as somebody singing. You could pretend someone's singing in the front, and then you've got all them like the Royal Opera House, like, you know, the people that sit on the posh corners with the red curtains, and that they have the spectacles so they can look from far away, and they're like, oh Mary, and it's like, oh yes, that kind of thing. You could do that here, you know, get the land grabs in, couple of pints, you know. But it actually works really well, and I loved making this build. I loved it. I had such a whale of a time, and I haven't really done a commercial build on my channel for quite a long time. Maybe the last one is maybe a Discover University one. Maybe it was the Discover University pub. It's probably not, but that's the only one that I can think of in my head. And I usually hate doing community builds because I never know how to decorate the exterior, but I kind of I just let loose with this one. I had a lot of fun. Like my total recording time for this was probably like an hour and 20 minutes, and then I've done some things off camera which you'll be able to see in the screenshots at the end. But yeah, it was so much fun, and I kind of didn't know what design to do, because I did look up Japanese cinema, and it just gave me loads of anime recommendations, which I thought is great, love, because I am into anime recently, but I kind of meant, you know, the design of it. So it turns out that it's just very similar. I mean, which is easy for me to build, but yeah, because I wanted to make sure that it was like realistic, you know. I didn't want to be like, oh well, this is a British version of a cinema just plonked in Mount Comerabby. So yeah, but there wasn't much differences from what I could see. So instead I just decided to use like the design choices that were included in the pack, like the wallpaper and the decorations and everything. I used that a lot, and I decided to place this in the world where there's the neighborhood section where there's the slopes. So in my mind, you can go and like along there the slopes and that, and then you're freezing, so then you go to the pitches with the Family Ding Dong, and it would be a great time. And that's the kind of realism that I love in The Sims. Like for example, Life Simmer, she had an episode of Generations where they went to a water park, and I thought that is fucking excellent. So then I'd done a water park in every single world in my games. I'm like fucking... I heard that Life Simmer wore army pants and flip-flops, so I went out and bought army pants and flip-flops. No, but I fucking love Christina. Like, I've started my channel twice. The first time was because of Christina, the second time was because of Kayla. But anyway, back onto the build. I thought that I'd have this as a more bougie build, and by bougie I mean that, you know, there's the seats that flip up and down and stuff. Well, some cinemas are like rebranding themselves and putting actual comfy chairs in, so I thought this can be a rebrand of those cinemas, and I can put a comfy chair in. And I wanted to include like the whole cinema red curtain theme, but it just didn't end up working because the platforms were on different levels. It was all a bit much. So instead I decided to really use a lot of textures in this build. So the wooden slats, it was a laborious, is that the word? It was a laborious task. I had to just place them over and over again, but I think it worked out well in the end. And then I used shelving around them to kind of add more of the texture in, and all in all I think it works very well. I ended up going for like a red, brown, black theme in the actual movie part, but it looks so good, and it really makes the entire room come to life, I think, with the different levels, because everything kind of just felt flat before. You could kind of get around it by doing the tall wall heights or whatever, and like adding a second floor, which is what I've done, but just the extra addition of the platforms, it does bring it to life, love. It does bring it to life. So I'm very happy with how the actual cinema itself turned out, but I also try to be creative with this one and add like the little projector section room. I don't know why I done it to myself, because The Sims 4 doesn't have a projector, and yet I was there trying to punish myself and trying to make one. So I ended up doing a pound shop version of a projector and I tried so hard. At first it was like this, the footrest, and I thought, well, I'll do a light coming out of that. This ended up getting scrapped when I saw that a light kind of, if you blurred your eyes, it kind of looked like a projector. So yeah, it ended up getting scrapped. But you know what? Lord loves a tryer, and you can't say I didn't try with that build. But I do like the fact that it's got its own section room. I do like what I've done there. And originally I did go in with like red lights to kind of bring the red theme alive, but I did end up changing these in the end, because I thought that if I changed them all to a blue light, then it kind of give the illusion of the TV screen, you know? And it did work in the end, but you don't get to see it here because it's included with the screenshots. And then I also wanted to include a bar area, because bars are apparently a big part of Japanese culture, which is let me know in the trailer. So I really wanted to include that here, because I also wanted it to be, because there's no like category for like cinema, you know, if you're on the community lot in The Sims 4. So I wanted to maybe just include this as a bar with an also a cinema part. But the cinema, I really like the aesthetic of it in the end, although it takes me a while to get to it, because for a long while I just end up fucking about with the top part of this build. And I tried to include like a sign that was in Simlish, but that wasn't just like a sign that you'd find in Winterberg or anything. So there's like a coat like a coat hanger thing, and it's got mountains on it, and that fit quite well within there. So I decided to call it the 5 Mount Cinemas, and that was the entire theme of this place, that it you know, because it's got mountains. Anyway, I thought it fit in. It was a nice little touch. Took me quite a while to get there, but there's the mountains. They look beautiful, and I'm really happy with the energy I created in the studio today. And then the outside as well, I was kind of dreading building it, because I just thought, I don't know why, I went in with the anticipation that I couldn't make the outside look good, but I do actually think I managed to succeed. I actually really like the outside of it, because at first I was like, well, you know, I've got pretty big flat walls to work with. It's not like a community lot that's got loads of different sections to it and loads of different rooms. I thought it'd be quite hard to utilise the space, but it worked out quite well. I think I like what I've done with it. I managed to make it very, I was going to say useless. I mean, technically it is useless, because I just put a platform on the top and I put shutters sized up and everything just to kind of give it some depth, but I do think it worked out. Also, I'm really learning to use different wall textures like wallpaper and everything to kind of make a room look more busy, even when it's not that busy, if that makes sense. This works especially well with the new window update that we got with, what was the pack? Eco Lifestyle. The catfish of a pack, because she looked shit in the trailer and she actually turned out to be quite good. So yeah, the different textures and everything really helps make something that's not necessarily that busy that you want to make look busy. That is a fucking roundabout way of saying that, but I think I succeeded in the end. It's very oversized, and it genuinely serves no purpose if you zoom round to the back of the building, so don't expect anything to be going on there. And then I also included this little picnic area, which did only start off as a picnic area and ended up being a kind of child's play area, because I thought, you know, it's very much skiing and everything like that, but you have to kind of go visit a lot to be able to use the skiing slopes. So I thought, well, if you visit this lot to go and see the skiing slopes, then why not just include like a child's area in there? Should a child's area be near a bar? I'll let you decide, but you know what? I played in bars and pubs when I was a kid, and I turned out okay. Some trauma, but you know, don't we all? And then for the actual bar area, because I work very backwards with builds, like something takes my attention and I go with it until it's done. But for the bar section, instead of using tables, I actually used islands, which kind of helps give it just a very close feel, you know? And I really like how it turned out instead of just using tables, and it really takes up a lot of the space, but it keeps it quite lean. I don't know if that's the right word. I don't know if that's what I'm going for, loves. But it doesn't make it look packed, but also it gets a lot of seating area in there as well. So I am very happy with the energy that I created in the studio today. There is a lot of screenshots. In my last speed build, the music was like boom, 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 boom. So I'm very sorry about that. Usually I am on top form with all the screenshots, and I'll make sure that I am on this one. This will be available on my gallery if you want to download it. Not necessarily now, but when the pack comes out and like everyone can download it and not have the objects missing, then I'll upload it properly to the gallery. But it's in my library right now, so keep your papers out, hens. Keep your papers out. I'm going to say my goodbyes now, because obviously I'm going to put the screenshots in. So I love you all. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know down below if you enjoyed this build, and I'll see ya in the next one. Bye beach.